Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another game review. Today, we're going to be reviewing another game that I played yesterday against a really strong opponent, but I'm not so sure. The rating says it's a very strong opponent. I think it was 1600 or something, around the 1600 rating or 1600, whatever you prefer to call it. So, let's check it out and see what happened. My opponent started with the move pawn to b3, which is quite many players play this if they know that they are that good. So it's easy to play these kind of openings because when you know you're that good. But if you know that you're at a lower level, you don't play these kinds of openings because you're gonna be summed with attacks. Of course, I took the opportunity to take the center because that's the first instinct when a player who's playing at the west position plays maybe a one-step move or a move that doesn't really take the center. So of course I'm gonna take the center. My opponent pushed his bishop to b2, attacking my pawn. Of course I covered that with the knight. Pushed king's pawn one step. Then I took the center. It's a center, so I pushed my queen's pawn to take the center because it's really it's a free place, so I have to take the center. I don't have to, but I had the opportunity to take the center, so I took it. My opponent pinned my knight to the king with the move b5 with the bishop. Of course, I closed the pin by pushing my bishop between my knight and my king. Captured in with that means that was his intention to come and capture my knight in order to leave the pawn on e5 unprotected. Of course, I'm gonna capture, then captures the pawn. I think most of the games of the game, most of this game, I was one point short because we played the game. Then the pieces were like we exchanged it, and I was always this one pawn that I lost there until the end game. Yeah, so let's continue. I pushed my knight to my other knight to f5 to f6, not f5. Sorry. Then my opponent took the center because he eliminated that pawn that was covering that square. Then I pushed my bishop to d6, attacking his bishop. Then he protected his bishop with his knight, and the bishop was also being protected by the pawn, so it wasn't really in danger. Then I castled. If you have the opportunity to castle, you have to castle. Everybody knows that you have to castle at the beginning of the game to put your king in less danger. If you don't castle, you know that you're that strong. If you know you're that strong, then you don't have to castle. Then my opponent castle, of course, it's kind of a rule. It's not really a big rule, but yeah, it's kind of a rule that if you have the opportunity to castle and put your king in the safe place. Then I pushed my knight to e8, continue with the attack to the bishop. But now I can't capture because it's only two pieces that are attacking and the only two pieces of his that are protecting. So I have to create another piece in order to be superior in the attack. Of course, I created that other piece with the knight, move to g4, attacking the bishop. Now I can capture because I have more pieces attacking his piece and there's only two pieces protecting the bishop. Of course, so then he captures, then I capture back with the queen. Now my opponent has lost two bishops. And I think bishops are kind of valuable in the end game. But then on this game, they won't be needed because you kind of exchange pieces. My opponent pushed pawn to h3, attacking my knight. Then I pushed back to f6. Then he came in with attack, pushing his knight to e5, attacking my bishop. I think was attacking my bishop. Then I counter attack to attacking his knight. His knight has no protection. It's a vulnerable knight. Of course, it's gonna capture, maybe move it, but it captured. Then I captured the pawn, and I push this queen. We attacking the king side with the queen to g4. I thought the idea was to take the bishop. I guess that wasn't the idea. Then I pushed my pawn to f5, f6, looking to what's the intention of that knight there? Is it there to capture the bishop, or is just there to for disturbance, or to help the king with the attack? Because the intention was to capture the bishop, took back with the pawn. I think I should have took back with the queen. I think that was the better move, because now I'm just destroying my pawn structure. So let's continue and see what happened. Then my opponent pushed a pawn to c4. Then I pushed my pawn on g7 to g6. Pushed this pawn that was on c4 to c5, attacking my queen on d5 on d6. And I pushed my queen to d5. Move this knight, this rook to c1. This end game was kind of like a standstill game. It was just the moves which were making weren't like that productive, were just moves, but the game actually changes somewhere. But we're not there. From here, the moves will be just like move and move. There are no really directions on what the intentions are. It's just to move to pass time. Then I move my pawn attacking the queen, and I move this pawn to f4. And I move my queen to f7. Move this rook to c4. Move my pawn to a5, covering the square so the rook cannot take that b4 square. Move this pawn to h4. Like this move. This move, I don't really know what the idea of this move. Maybe to disturb my pawns. But this move, that move to pawn to h4, that really gave me the winning edge. Then I pushed my rook to e7, protecting the pawn on c7, because I wanted to move the queen to help to help to help deal with that pawn that was being pushed in order to destroy my pawn structure. I move this queen to g5. Move my queen to g7. Move this king to h2. This is with the king there actually gave me the opportunity to win this game. You'll see what I mean. And I pushed my pawn to h6. Okay, as you can see, the moves that were made in this game, there's only maybe one mistake that allowed me to lose the pawn, but the other moves weren't like really mistakes. They were just okay, great moves. They were moves like that. They weren't like any mistakes or blunders. This game was kind of neutral. They weren't great moves either. They were just moves. They were just moves. Okay moves, great moves like that. They weren't like the best moves or brilliant moves. It was that kind of a game that it's kind of like a response kind of thing. You move, I respond, you move, I respond, you move, I respond, that kind of game. Took back his king to f4. Then I pushed my knight to f7, covering this pawn on f5 because I thought my opponent was gonna push the pawn to h5, so I will push my pawn attacking the queen and also protecting the pawn by the rook with the rook. So that's why the intention of moving the rook there. My opponent pushes rook, looking to push the pawn on d4 in order to open that file. My opponent wanted to open that file, so I first countered attack with the pawn move, because I saw that I'm in danger and this king is out. So if I attack first, I'll be in less danger. So I attack that pawn Of course, you have to accept the pawn, or either you lose it or you move if you move your queen, you lose the pawn. So my opponent accepted the pawn, then I accepted my pawn. And I put this queen to looking for a queen exchange. Of course, I'm not gonna accept that. I'm on a losing side. I'm being attacked. I'm not attacking his side. So if I exchange at this point, I'm just gonna lose this end game. So I take this king with a check with this king. Then I threaten checkmate by moving the rook behind my queen. And move, then I play check. Move, then I capture that pawn on g2. Then my opponent captured that the pawn on f5. At this position, I made the move to rook on that was on h7 to f7, which I should have moved the rook on a8 to f8. That was the better move, because that would have ended the game fast. But my opponent just I played this. This was kind of a mistake. My opponent captured there, and my opponent, if he wanted to prolong this game, could have moved this queen to g6, playing checks, endless checks until maybe we make a draw. That was the that was that's the reason why this move was a mistake. The rook to f7 will allow my opponent to have endless checks and maybe get himself a draw. So he made that. It's a blunder, of course. That's a blunder. You saw that as a blunder. I thought maybe I'm gonna play the checkmate, so he didn't see another move. So that's why I won the game. He actually resigned after this. There was no chance of winning. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, comment until we see each other again. Thank you.